Welcome to Health IQ, a podcast from the Quay County Health Council. In this podcast, we are exploring a variety of health topics that affect our community and probably yours too. We are not professional podcasters, but volunteers that have a passion for wellness. We will share practical ideas and resources for people with limited access to services, and we have some fun tips to help you and your family stay healthy and well. Increase your health IQ as you listen to our members as they talk and share with experts and others about the health matters that matter to you.
Episode 4, Thriving in 24, Building Healthy Habits.
Thank you for joining us today as we look at ways to be healthier in 2024. On our podcast today, we have our core team of Annie McCauley, myself, Brenda Bishop, Joyce Runyan, and we're going to dub in, try something new. One of our other core team members, Rachelle Moon, who has having a happy event happen in her life today, and she was going to go see a new grandbaby.
Yay!
And also joining us today is one of our Health Council members, Alan Angel. Thank you for joining us today, Alan. We have our film crew today is just one person, and he's doing it all, the magnificent Bobby Hockaday. Thank you, Bobby. So I was going to ask you, did anybody make a New Year's resolution this year?
I hear crickets.
I usually don't, just because I don't know, I'm not good at following through when I do it in January because it's all cliche. I think you just start whenever.
Yeah. I personally don't, because I think it's too much pressure. And, I'm all about, let's figure out ways to be less hard on ourselves.
Yes.
So for me, it's too much pressure. And a lot of people, according to the research, really find the word resolution a lot of pressure in itself, that we're being resolved to make a big change, and it's supposed to be something big and
overwhelming.
Yeah.
I'm going to change my life in one day. I don't know. It's a little much.
So we have some tips today are some facts about resolutions, and then some ideas today to help you maybe make some healthy choices that might be a little easier than an actual resolution.
Okay, well, first I want to say happy 2024. Yay! It's hard to believe we're here. Yeah. All right. So in some of our research or looking around, we found out that New Year's resolutions date back to over 4,000 years ago, when the Babylonians tried to be better people by in their new year. And so that's kind of interesting that they've been around that long, or that concept has been around that long. Mm-hmm. They might not have exactly called it that, but it was the concept. So about 40% of U.S. adults set New Year resolutions every year. So that's almost half of adults. That's kind of wild. So the most popular resolutions are exercise more, eat healthier, save money, and lose weight. And I would bet that losing weight and exercise are probably, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a correlation with that. But only 9% of people successfully keep their New Year's resolutions.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And a 23% quit in the first week. So that's fascinating.
Yes.
Sharing your resolution with somebody else helps you to keep your resolution more realistic, specific, and helps you possibly have success with that. And so that is kind of fascinating information.
And the Gen Z generation is the ones who feel most pressure about making a New Year's resolution. I thought that was really an interesting
age group.
Yeah, I just wouldn't have thought that. And that men feel more pressure than women to make resolutions.
That's interesting.
I agree.
That's another one. Like, really?
What? That's a little surprising for me. So 44% of the people that make a resolution, 17% have more than one goal. Sometimes that makes it really hard to get anything done if you're trying to do too many things at one time. 55% kept them less than a year, 11% less than 5 months, 14% less than 3, and 20% less than a month.
Oh, yeah.
So
Very hard to keep up with more than with one
Oh,
resolution,
yes.
let alone a bunch.
yeah, and I think that's really why a lot of people feel like, yeah, I don't need to do this.
Right.
I don't need to make a resolution.
Some of the top resolution topics were improved mental health, improved fitness, losing weight, improved diet, and improving our finances. So all things that we probably want to do that would definitely help
Be beneficial.
be our health along the way. But maybe we just need to look at new ways to make what I would call a little goal.
Yes.
So a couple of years ago, actually last year, I decided I wanted to increase my water uptake because our bodies are made of mostly water. And so I thought, how am I going to do this because that it fits into my life? And I think that's one of the things that we always need to think about is how is whatever we're going to add going to fit into our life? And so for me, I thought, well, if I make this small change of drinking water with my supper meal instead of a juice or a milk or pop or tea or whatever, that I could do that. I can make sure I got a glass of water, and I usually drink, a large glass. We have big,
It's not a juice glass.
right? We have big glasses, so at least 24 ounces usually that I start on when I fill my glass up when I get my dinner plate. And that works really well for me. It even works if we go out because I can just order water. So it was something that I was able to do, and I have been very successful with that. But that was just my goal, is to increase. And instead of saying, I'm going to drink 1.5 gallons of water and carry this thing around with me that I would probably leave in the car most of the time anyway.
Right.
Because my hands are always full. I don't need anything else to carry. I just did that one change. And I think I've been successful in getting almost 1 gallon of water a day.
Wow, that's amazing.
Well, and it's like you said, it's you're starting small. I work in retail, so everybody's buying these giant drink containers because then you're going to drink more water. But then you just carry around this giant drink container all day that you don't drink any other water out of, and it's overwhelming. It's a lot of water to drink today.
Oh yeah,
Whereas
that's
if you're
scary.
all I got to drink is this glass.
Yeah.
And my husband's that way. I bought him the big drink thing to carry in his truck with him when he's out working, and he drinks none of it, and it rolls around in his truck for days until I go get it out. But if he takes a bottle of water, like an 8 ounce or a 16 ounce, then he drinks it, and he'll drink 10 of them.
Wow. Well, that's interesting.
Side-
I'm a slow drinker, so I can have a
side
drink
note
forever.
Factoid. One of the most popular drink in the United States is bottled water.
Tastes better in the bottle.
Interesting. Bottled water, most popular.
Also, like for New Year's, what some people do, and I tried it, but it's too complicated for me. But anyways, prioritizing, and you put the A, B, C, D. The A is the most important that you want to do throughout the year.
So set a series of goals, but choose one that's most popular or most important to you.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Be easier to do it that way too. Then you can just focus on whichever one is higher. Mm-hmm.
So you were telling me how you added some exercise into your crazy routine.
For those of us that work at a desk a lot, or if you have to work, if you're sitting a lot, you can just set a timer on your phone that goes off every hour. And every hour you get up and walk around for a few minutes or stretch and stand in place. Or sometimes I just stand up and work at my desk there, and I can set my keyboard a little bit higher and I can work that way. Just to make sure I'm getting up, I'm stretching, walking around. If you have a smartwatch, you can usually set something on there to remind you, or just use a little timer on your phone.
That sounds like a really good idea. And it gives you just a little bit of a mental, like,
That mental break, yeah.
you know,
But it's good
as
for your
well
body,
as a
even
physical.
yeah, it's good for your body even just to stand rather than just be sitting. You
It
can
is.
stretch in place, and your back doesn't hurt as bad.
Mm-hmm.
All good things.
That's a very handy tip.
Yes.
Yes.
Kind of like Brenda's water. It's just a little bit. Like I can stand up for 2 minutes every hour.
2 minutes.
I don't have to work out, but I'm going to stand up.
I can stand up quickly. I
Yeah.
can sit down. Yeah. So yeah, that's really good. And I like that it's the mental stop for me, that I'm going to stop this and do something else, because that little change in focus can sometimes really just help you to be like, oh, hey, now I can do this, and give
Well,
you some new insight.
And we do sort of get bogged down into whatever it is we're working on, if it's research or creating social media or whatever it is. We get really bogged down into that and
Intense.
I
forget.
do.
And yeah.
It
and
helps
so-
you remember to release the tension in your neck. And
To uncurl.
yes, uncurl from your desk
I'm gonna sit up
chair
tall.
and
Yeah,
then start working again. Fresh mind.
that's a great tip and very replicatable. You can do
Yes.
that. So
Yes.
Rachelle talked about habit stacking.
That kind of goes with something that, or a lot goes with something I like to do. I'm like you, I don't really like to make resolutions, but I like to have good habits. And so in order to do that, I try to do something called habit stacking. And one of the authors of a book that uses this idea, his name is James Clear, and he has a book called Atomic Habits. Is you take a habit you already have. So you're trying to drink your water. So you get up in the morning. What's your normal routine? Well, if the first thing you do is drink your water. Well, say you want to start taking your vitamins and remembering to do that. So you add that right after you drink your water. Or, of course, if it's a vitamins, maybe with your water. But, and you would then just continue to do that until those two things become a habit. And you don't add too many things. So that goes along with you talked about people making
more than one.
multiple. That's too much. Most people can't. Maybe that's why there's so much failures. They can't maintain several new habits. So you just take a habit you already have, like brushing your teeth or eating breakfast, or, if you already take vitamins, and add, if you're wanting to exercise, say, well, after I take my vitamins that I've already
drink
established,
my water, I'll walk.
I'll walk for 15 minutes,
Yeah.
or walk around the block or something like that. And you just do that consistently until those things become habits. And you don't add something new until you have your other habits established.
Something that I hadn't really thought about that I do is I'm learning Korean, and that's something that I do in the morning before I even get out of bed. It's really when I try to do it, because once I'm up, the day is up for grabs about what has to be next and where I have to be. So I really try to get that done first. And I'm actually learning. I know quite a few words. I know some phrases that I could say. And so when I started this, I thought, I don't want to learn that this says, I don't want to learn how to put all these things together. And Carmen was laughing at me. She's like, what is wrong with you? I was like, I'll just learn that this symbol means this thing. And she's like, just learn the language. And I was like, all right. So it's taken me some time, but I'm in a place where I feel I can kind of think in Korean a little bit, which is different than thinking in Spanish or English. And so it's been fun, and I can understand some things in stuff that I listen to and I hear. And it's just something that every day I try to do before I get going. And if I don't get it done then, I try to catch up somewhere later in the day. And so it's something that's fun for me. It's an app I use. And so there's some built-in rewards that, the little owl tells me I'm good.
It's that sticker.
And if I don't do it, they give me the angry eyes. And so, so that's something that I've really kind of been enjoying. And it's helped. I think it's helping my brain connections, building those and keeping them strong, especially as my hair turns more gray, which I forget about too.
Yeah. Gotta keep exercising that brain muscle.
That's
Yes.
right.
So, Alan, is there something that you do to stay healthy?
I take my medication and then I put it in a container, and that way I can just flip the thing and get my medication that I need, and use my insulin when they tell you about it, and then also the eating, because some medications will require that or have something in your stomach.
Just remembering to have like a schedule to eat.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
In which I have 5 meals a day. And the reason why is because of small portions.
Right. And that's healthier for you too.
Mhm.
Well, and that helps you remember to take your medicine if you're timing it with a meal.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have it in your little box
It is
already
habit
sorted out,
stacking.
yes, perfect habit stacking.
You have a routine. I think that's the important thing about resolutions, is like incorporating it into your routine, like you said. So you just make it normal. So like Ellen, yours is normal because you have your routine of how you take your medicine every day, right? Brenda drinks her water every night for supper, and then remembers probably to drink it more throughout the day too.
Mm-hmm.
Very important to stick to that
Yeah,
routine.
and especially with your medications, because if you go see your healthcare provider and they say, "Hey, you need this medication," and you don't take it,
Yeah.
you're not gonna improve. So those things that we do with the pill boxes or having them with our meals, and I even use pill boxes to help my brother stay on his medication, and have just recently went to go and say, "Oh, here's your medicine for today," and I was like, "Wait, how come it's not here? What's going on?" And I had to think about it, and I was like, "Oh wait, this is the wrong one.
Oh, no.
You took this morning. We're okay."
Out of routine.
Yes. I was just like, "Here's the pill box. Let's open it up. It's not here. Where did it go?" So, and they're different colors. I should have known better.
Yeah.
One of the things that frustrates me is putting all your pills and all of a sudden all of them fall out.
Oh, that is awful. Then having to sort them back out.
Yep. And you're not even done filling everything up, and everything's the same color. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's not fun at all.
One thing that we have to think of the opioids. Make sure you get a consultation with your pharmacist,
Right.
and they also some insurances do the yearly review, make sure that the medication is not interacting with the other.
That's an important,
Very
very
important.
important. Yes.
And then one of the things that I want to get to is at least a 220 on my weight. And then my A1C, I was doing good. And all of a sudden it jumped up from 7.3 to 8.7.
Oh, no.
So I had to do it. Then I have to do it again.
Well, that's an important point. And sometimes we do mess up a little bit and get off the good track, I guess.
Mhm.
Maybe I start drinking something I'm not supposed to at supper, or you forget to do your, life gets
Yeah.
in the way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But then we should always remember that it's okay that we messed up and we need to reset and start over.
That's kind of like if you're on like we were talking about this the other day, like if you're on a diet or whatever your resolution or your goal might be and you mess up, It doesn't mean like you have to quit for the whole week or for the whole day. Like, it's just like, I should not have had that donut. I'm going to do better the rest of the day. Like, you can reset anytime you want. Like,
Exactly.
any time of day, any time of the week. Like,
Yeah.
just reset and start over because, accidents happen or life happens and we're all human and we can just keep going.
Yes. And being kind to yourself to say,
Yes.
okay, it's okay.
Yes, give yourself grace.
I can pick up and start again.
Right. Just like Alan, you can keep on going, keep on working on keeping that low, right?
So we do have a few tips if you choose a goal and you want to work towards that. And the first is to, of course, develop that mindset that you're going to be successful. And, that I can do this. So I'm going to be able to do this and develop necessary skills. So if I wanted to say, compete in an archery competition, I would need to learn how to shoot the bow, how to aim it, maybe how to adjust it a little bit, the sights or whatever. And for me, it's just even a struggle to keep the arrow on the little shelf and not hit my arm.
Yeah.
So you have to develop some of those skills, and we need to give ourselves time to do that, because sometimes we're just trying to be successful right away, and we forget
process.
we have to learn and build on it. And that sort of fits in with choosing smaller and measurable goals, sort of like a SMART goal, but make sure it's measurable instead of saying, I want to lose a lot of weight, or I'm just going to lose weight. We say, I'm going to lose so much a week, or because that's doable. Losing a half a pound a week or 3 pounds a month or something is a lot more doable to our brain than being.
You can't eat an elephant whole.
Right.
You have to take it in bites.
And then say, I want to lose 100 pounds this year.
Right.
And the other thing that we often forget about is the importance of sleep. And we are such a screen-driven society that sometimes we stay reading or watching or just responding to texts and whatever a little too late into the evening, and we're not getting quite enough sleep. And sleep is very important because it helps us heal all of our body. So especially when we're in that REM sleep. And if you have enough sleep, it makes it easier to even try to do your goal because you're not tired.
Well, this is true. And this is something that I'm really very terrible at. But, as somebody who enjoys the evening hours,
Joyce and I are night owls.
the early morning time, I like the stillness, that it's just quiet, and that you don't have like all the neighbor noise outside, all the traffic noise outside. It's just, in a way, it's kind of refreshing and calming for me to be up when nobody else is. And I pay for that the next morning when I have to get up when everyone else is. So I will try to go to bed at a decent time today.
And how are you going to do that? You're going to start by just doing 15 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
Or start small and build up. And the last tip is don't have to wait. I don't have to wait for the beginning of the month, the beginning of the week.
Today is good.
Yeah.
The beginning of the year.
to do whatever the goal is I want. If I'm going to decide I want to do something, you do it. You start then. Because the more time you give yourself before you start, the more likely you are to talk yourself out.
Well, you psych yourself out. I can't do that. I can't do that. Yes, you can.
That's true.
So I think we have a quote that we wanted to reflect on.
We do. Let's see if I can find that. So it says, small is not just a stepping stone. Small is a great destination itself. And that's by Jason Fried, I believe. And so a lot of the things we've talked about are making small changes, small intentional changes. And that is a good thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like this huge thing to be life altering. any little alteration
Exactly.
in your life, like drinking more water, is life altering because it's going to
Mhm.
make you healthier.
Exactly.
Standing up every hour isn't a huge thing. You can do it, and it's going to make you feel better at the end of the day. You might not be as sore or like as much tension in your body. So it's those
Mhm.
little things that are can be really in the long run big changes.
Right. So I just thought it was a really appropriate quote because we do often try to do too big a thing. And if we just realize that small can be great. So, well, we thank you all for joining us today. I hope you learned some tips to be a little healthier in 2024 and some things that we're sort of working on ourselves. And be sure to come back next time as we talk about seasonal affective disorder with some experts in the field.
Yep.
That'll be somebody else.
And a happy new year. Happy new year.
Special thanks to the guest contributors of Tricia Cook from Masonlands Community College, Robert F. Hockaday from Hawk Productions. Our host was Brenda Bishop. Podcast crew included Robert F. Hockaday. Producers of the video and audio are Robert F. Hockaday and Joyce Runyan. Video crew included Joyce Runyan. Music provided by David Morris.
This podcast was made possible by a New Mexico Department of Health Better Together grant. Thank you for joining us today. If you have ideas for future podcast topics, be sure to reach out to us at healthiqpodcast@gmail.com. Additional information about today's topic will be on the Health IQ blog located on the Quay County Health Council's website at www.qchealthcouncil.org. Be sure to follow the Quay County Health Council on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at Quay County Health. This podcast was created solely for educational and entertainment purposes. It is not intended as a substitute for advice from a healthcare or mental health professional.